Well, I'm trying to get some more questions answered. Seems like the more questions I tried to get answered, the less people want to even, unless you pay them, they'll give you an answer. Now, I'm trying to talk to a doctor. I've been trying to talk to a couple of doctors about my bladder cancer and whether they would remove the bladder and, in that procedure with my COPD. And most of them, oh, you got to come in and see the doctor. And I keep telling them, I said, I just need an answer from him. Would he do it? I mean, if everything, all the moons aligned and everything was perfect, would he remove somebody's bladder that had COPD? I don't care whether he gives me a guarantee or what. It doesn't matter. Would he do it? Because I don't want to go in there in the office visit and pay him for him to say, oh, I would never do that. I just need to know, would he ever do that in any situation? And you can't get an answer. And I was in to see my, what I call, I guess your, I don't know, I guess your brain doctor. He, and and everything's fine with him, and I'm good with everything as far as he's concerned. And no problems there. But he said, "Oh, let me recommend you. I know a cancer doctor over here that and he's with you." Yeah, I thought he said he was with UT, but I'm not sure now because the people that called me did not present themselves as being part of UT, the UT health system, and. So anyway, they had called me and said, somebody had made a referral. I know it was him. So I called them back and asked them the same thing. I said, has this doctor ever been able to, as far as bladder cancer goes, the kind that I've got, has he ever been able to cure anybody of that with cancer treatments? Because I've gone through the Keytruda and it made absolutely no dents whatsoever. Matter of fact, it just kept getting worse. And and I asked her, I said, has he ever been able to cure somebody with bladder cancer? Because bladder cancer is the kind I have. It just keeps returning on most people. It's you can never get rid of it. That's the reason I've had so many surgeries to cut it out, because it's simple to go in there and cut it out. But within a few months, it starts coming right back. And I just, and I asked her, I said, well, has he ever done it and got rid of somebody, of their cancer that they haven't been able to get removed somewhere else? Well, you'll have to come in and visit with him about that. And I said, I just need to know if he's ever done it. I mean, if he thinks it's possible. I don't want to have to come in there and pay him to tell me I can't do that. And she said, no, you got to come in and see him. So I understand. I don't know. I really don't understand that, why they just can't, say, hey, I don't want to guarantee. I just want to know, do you think it's possible? And have you ever done it? And, it might be 1 out of 10,000, but if he had 1 out of 10,000, I'd be willing to risk it. And, but it just, it's kind of frustrating. I'm going to eventually find somebody or die trying. Yeah, I guess that's kind of rude, but anyway, that's about all I have right now. I am still feeling a lot better with my breathing. Of course, I've also learned how to live with it. So it's, you don't want to ever get overstressed or overwork yourself, because it's, once you get out of breath, it's kind of hard to get back. And that's the scary part, whenever you can't breathe for a little bit and you're just sitting there going, come on, build back up. But it's I do build back up quicker now, and it seems like it's Oh, I can maybe do a little more. I'm back to walking again. I've got a treadmill, and I was doing quite a bit of walking all through the years, thinking I could build myself up, but it just, about the time I'd get built up where I was moving a lot more, then it kind of hit me again, and kind of put me down for a day or two, and then I go, well, I just overdid it, so I'm not going to do that again until I start, getting back at it and getting better and going, oh, it's making me feel better. So I end up overdoing it again, and which I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do that, but that's just doctors never told me not to do that. I mean, they said the exercise is good, but just they always said, well, just be careful, exercising. They're not real concerned about that. So anyway, that was just one of my gripes today. If there again, if anybody knows of a good surgeon or anybody, a urologist or I don't know, a cancer doctor that's been able to beat because there are some people that they have cancer has beat that bladder cancer, but it's what I understood from the last oncologist I had is that this kind of depends on the person's I guess makeup of them, because apparently he has cured people of the bladder cancer with the Keytruda before, because he was real positive about it, and absolutely no problem, and it just, he might as well have been giving me water. I mean, it never seemed to affect it. It never slowed it down, because whenever I had it before I ever went to the oncologist, I was still getting the cancer cut out, 2 times a year, and even after 3 years of this, I was still having to do that 2 or 3 times a year. So, and it was coming back just as strong, and as a matter of fact, it was coming back stronger here towards the end. And so I'm gonna keep hunting, and anything else anybody could help me with on that, I'd sure appreciate it. And I'll talk to y'all. I'm not really gonna give a time frame until we start getting something changing, because right now there's nothing going on. So, but once I maybe find me a doctor that will help me out on that part, I'll keep everybody up in case there's somebody out there in the same situation. Might as well help them, because trust me, I could not find anybody. I mean, and I hunted, and it's just, you can't find any information on somebody that's kind of been through the same thing, and maybe especially had a good outcome. I don't know. I figure I'm having a good outcome, because I've been around here for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now with the cancer and the COPD, longer than that. So, and getting by. Bought me one of those robot lawnmowers, and because my son would mow my yard, but he was far and in between, and I've always liked a good looking yard, and it was killing me. I couldn't mow, so I bought me one of those. They're kind of high dollar. One of those robot lawnmowers, and it's kind of a dream to have. I wish I'd have bought one years ago, because once you set it up, I just push a button on my phone, and it pulls itself off the charging dock, goes out there and mows the yard, and it follows. You set it up first time. Don't have to put any wires in the ground or anything. It's just solved by GPS. Is once you show it the way to go, it goes back and goes that exact same trail, and it goes around. You set it to go around trees so many times. You set the outside boundary, and you can have it cut those fancy angles through your yard, and it's pretty neat. You just push it, and then if it's mowing quite a bit, and the battery gets low, it'll stop, go back over it and pull up and charge itself up, and then go right back to mowing until it's finished, and then go right back and put itself up. And you don't, I don't even have to be here. So it's a pretty good deal. I mean, at least it's one thing I'm getting done by myself. So, all right, I'll let y'all go, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Thank you.